Loose Gamecube games. Are they worth anything? I got over $800, at least $800 in video games here. I've got some loose ones, and I've got some in the case. But the reason I brought some of these out is because I want to talk to you about pricing and where you sell them. eBay, Amazon. Now, pricecharting.com is a great place. That's where I go a lot of times to see an average price there, because you want to get the average. And GameStop is listed there. So GameStop is listing a few of these games on there, and it is really bringing down the price, especially this one and another one we'll see here. Now, I have a bunch of loose GameCube games, and I have some loose. These are a little bit easier to sell loose, but I got these, and you want to be on the lookout for these. I got one of these, where they take them so they can take their games and go different places. And this is actually pretty cool, and this is all Dreamcast games. Dreamcast was a fantastic system, but it does keep the games nice. Demolition Racer was probably my favorite game of all time. They were real great. That was the first real cool system, but I got those, and I put these in cases, and we'll talk about these in a second. Now, what do you think is worth the most? One in a case, or maybe a loose one? Maybe one of these loose ones. So I went through, and some of these are literally doubling in price. I've sold some of these before, and they are literally doubling in price from a couple years ago. They're almost like a commodity now. It's amazing. So really go through and see what you have. Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2, you may not have heard of it. It is a walkthrough game. Now, I do go through and I play these games, and I make sure they work, and I play them. You're walking around in the dark in this one. I didn't play it that much. It seems interesting. Seems like a long game. But this is actually a $60 game. $60 for that. Champions of Norrath. This was literally $30 not too long ago, or $20 not too long ago. Now it's over 40 for this game, especially complete. It is cool. It's a cool game, Champions of Norrath. So we got some money there. Now, Harry Potter. Talk about Harry Potter. And this is a GameCube game. This one is in the case, and this is complete. You can see it as the manual. Save your manuals, and even if you can't find the discs because you put them in one of these, save the cases, because people, if they've got these, they want the case and they want them complete. So this one is complete, and being complete, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be cool, and I did play this one. This is interesting. Now, there's a lot of Harry Potter games. The Sorcerer's Stone seems to be the only one that is that desirable. I'm not sure why, but if you have the Sorcerer's Stone, a lot of them don't sell for hardly anything, but the Sorcerer's Stone, there's good old Harry, over $60, $60 to $65. Now, this is Sparkster. This is a Sega Genesis game, and Sega Genesis, they had the cool boxes, so you could play these. Now, this is one that's very interesting. So if you go on price charting, it'll say it's selling for an average of about $75, which is pretty good for a Genesis game. But the last sales on eBay are literally about $115 on the low end, $115 to $120, and that's cart only. Cart only $120. Now, if you go to Amazon, you're going to pay more fees in Amazon. The lowest one on Amazon is $200. $200. So literally, this one is the cheapest one I saw sold in the last week was $115, and that was for the cart only. So price charting is not keeping up. I think it's GameStop and how they say they have things, and they don't. And now we have some cool. One of my favorite systems are the SNES games. This is Turtles in Time. It is Turtles 4. A lot of the Turtles games out. This is the most desirable Turtles game in the SNES franchise. And this one sells, well, let's see what that one sells for. Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy. This is Final Fantasy 3, which I always think is interesting because final means last. And this is the third one. And, of course, we have Final Fight 2. Final Fight 2. Now, the labels on these are awesome. They're great. They're complete. They look good. You take these apart. You make sure they work. These are all very cool games. Which one do you think is worth the most out of all these? Well, it's not Final Fight 2. I don't know what happened in Final Fight 1, but that didn't make it. But that's still $50. $50. Now, we have Turtles or Final Fantasy. Turtles 4, Final Fantasy 3. Is it 3 or 4? Well, 4 is bigger than 3, but that doesn't mean anything because Turtles they're pretty close in price. $65 on that one. Final Fantasy 3, it is $70. $70. It was $40 not too long. I sold it 2 years ago for $40. Should have held on to it. Now, loose games. We talk about loose games. These are loose games. These are all GameCube games. These were all in a package like this. I did try them out to make sure they work because I don't want to send someone a game that doesn't work. So these games are actually getting more and more popular. You can also play them on the Wii. You need a GameCube controller, but you can play them on the Wii. Now, Kirby's Air Ride, great game. Kirby's Air Ride is another example of that. Kirby's Air Ride is listed at about $60, but the lowest one on Amazon is about $110, and they're selling higher. So make sure, do your research, but we'll just go with the averages here, and we have $60 here. We have Zelda Wind Waker. It's not as cool. See, Kirby has a cool thing. You can barely read that, but this is right around the $60 range. You're going to see a theme here. Mario Party 7. Yep, it's about $60 here. And then we got our two last ones here. We've got Pokemon XD and we got Super Smash. Super Smash and Pokemon, let's see, Super Smash, right around the $60 range. Now, this is the most expensive GameCube game, and Sparkster is going to be the most expensive game out of this lot. Which one is worth the most? I told you this is literally a $120 game. Is it a loose one or one in complete like this? Well, actually, it's Pokemon XD, and this is another one. If you look on price charting, that you're going to see that it averages literally $158. That's $158 for loose price. $158 for loose price, but if you go over to Amazon, you can see that this sells for $308 is the cheapest one right now. $308. I wouldn't expect to get $308. I would make sure it works. I would sure and test it. It is Pokemon XD, and there are not that many copies. What happens is they're selling out of copies probably on eBay. There's none at GameStop, so the Amazon price is just the most expensive ones are left. But if you put it at a lower price, you could probably get, you might be able to get $200 for that. But anyway, it's time to reassess your collection. If you really have the guts, I've said this before, you could probably sell your collection right now and buy them all in better condition in 6 months. Maybe, but I don't know. It's like cryptocurrency. Hey, you can buy Dogecoin and Bitcoin, and you can be a millionaire. You could lose it all. Depends on who you talk to. So anyways, I want you to go through. I appreciate you watching, and if you find some loose games, go ahead and pick them up, and be sure and do all your research, because Sparkster could get you a lot more money than you thought before. And Harry Potter, it's always the Sorcerer's Stone. I don't know why, but thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and share. Great finds today.